Hello, I'm Mike Gordon, and welcome back to my perfect playthrough of Pokemon Gold and Silver. Last time we traveled all around Kanto, capturing quite a number of Pokemon, with only 53 more to go, and we are already set with Chansey, Slugma, and Houndour all ready to evolve with just a single rare candy. I already completed duplicates, so this will easily be the first thing I do in this episode is evolve these three. Especially since there won't be any more evolutions in this episode after this. So, with these three, and in addition, I also picked up a bunch of items off the ground. Received quite a number of gift items, including TM03 Curse. And we battled every trainer we could, except for the ones on routes 9, 24, and 25. And the gym trainers, of course. So now we are officially at 201 Pokemon with 50 more Pokemon to go before we have officially completed the Pokedex in Gold and Silver. So, I'm going to return all the Pokemon to their proper spots in the PC alongside their original counterparts. I'm gonna go ahead and withdraw all of these Pokemon straight away because it's way faster. And you can notice, and yeah. I also have duplicate, a second copies of Chansey and Gloom in my Pokedex order. And I just want to show this off real quick. I have the other Gloom and the Chansey in the PC. And the reason for these duplicates is so I could trade them. There are 2 more in-game trades left in the game, and I'm going to perform them. And in the meantime, let's read some Pokedex entries. All from the Johto side of the Pokedex. The shell on its back is just skin that has cooled and hardened. It breaks easily with a slight touch. And if you are burned by the flames it shoots from its mouth, the pain will never go away. And now for anyone who takes even one bite of Blissy's egg becomes unfailingly caring and pleasant to everyone. Alright, and Silver will read their Pokedex entries at the end of the episode. That way, both games can cover the same events in roughly the same order. And not have to worry about dex overlap. So I'm not using max repels or anything like that because there aren't a lot of encounter spawns that we need to worry about, and we still need to run into a wild Electabuzz on this patch of grass here. Because technically we're now on the north side of Route 10. Whereas the patch of grass that Silver had just passed by is Route 9. Yeah, go figure. So yeah, I need to I need to talk to this guy specifically in order to trigger the plot line where we have to restore the missing machine part. By the way, this is the final check for the story check in the game for in order to update trainers' phone numbers. And by this point in time, all trainers are red. All trainers in Johto and Far West Kanto, routes 26 through 27, will have their third and final teams ready to go. However, I'm not going to battle them quite yet because I want to be able to give all that experience to a certain Pokemon I intend to catch. This is especially true because I think Mewtwo's about to hit max level. So Mewtwo used Shadow Ball. So yeah, I'm just blasting through. Silver's quite a ways ahead of Gold. Even before I started reading Pokedex entries in Gold version, I was quite ahead. So yeah. Go Mewtwo! Yeah, and this is unfortunately the boring part of the episode, because I need about all the trainers on Route 9, and then I have to complete the main story thread for Kanto, which is restoring power to the power plant. Because that will grant us full access to the entire rest of Kanto. So I'm going up here so I could battle this trainer here. I stay in Gold, Silver, and Crystal versions. I made a conscientious effort to heal at the Pokemon Center on Route 10, or I guess you could say Route 9, because I actually need. Actually, yeah, it was North Route 10. And the reason for this is because I need... What was I trying to say? I forgot. Oh yeah, I was using the Pokemon Center as a teleport spawn. Now, generally speaking, you don't want to use moves that are super effective if it can be helped. But Pokemon with really high defenses or special defenses might not give you much of a choice. Especially if they're fully evolved or close to fully evolved. Like Graveler. Yeah, Mewtwo's like 50 levels higher, but that doesn't mean that no Pokemon can tank all Mewtwo's attacks. So far, Karen's Umbreon was the only Pokemon we ran into that could tank Mewtwo's attacks. Another Pokemon is actually Silver's Magneton. Both Rival 5 and Rival 6's Magneton can tank Mewtwo's attacks. So there's a Hidden Ether and, of course, Random Encounter on that tile. Like, I think that happened like all 3 times I played through this section. That one tile right next to where the Hidden Ether is located. And I get sniped for a random encounter. Well, I guess maybe it's not true in Chris. Actually, it was true because it's the only way to cut through to Cerulean. Oh. Man, it's so hot and muggy. Yeah, it's raining a lot, but there's literally no air conditioning in the house. But on the bright side, we are just about done with Route 9, and actually Silver is about to... Yep! Again! This first thing we do is enter this gym so we could trigger the plot line with the Rocket Grunt. If you've been following my Crystal version, this Rocket Grunt was the guy that stole the machine part needed to keep the power plant running. He's definitely a foreigner who speaks broken English. And he doesn't know that Team Rocket had once again disbanded. So yeah, so even though we retrieved the machine part, we're gonna go ahead and kick his ass. By the way, I will spare the Route 24 to 25 trainers for now because there are 2 other plot threads we need to go over in Gold and Silver at a later date. I'm not ready for either of them yet because A, one of them involves collecting stone evolutions, and until I'm ready to get them all at once, I'm not gonna go up there and complete that. Second of all, there's also a gym. We need to go up there so we could reopen this gym. Cerulean City, the Cerulean and Viridian gyms are the only 2 gyms in Kanto that remain closed when you first reach Kanto. All other gyms remain open all throughout. Anyways, there's a hidden potion in that tree. I have no idea why there's a potion at this stage of the game. I mean, technically this is an early game location, but come on. By Kanto standards, but come on. It's Johto. It should be like a hyper potion or something, not a goddamn potion. So Rocket Grunt was defeated. So yeah, we already found the missing machine part, and now that he's gonna get the news that, oh yeah, Team Rocket's disbanded, he just flees without a word. The very last battle against Team Rocket in all Pokemon. But don't worry, I used Sweet Sound Route 10 so I could encounter and catch an Electabuzz. Since I could not run into an Electabuzz via random encounter, I'm gonna go ahead and do that instead. Alright, we caught Electabuzz. Its body constantly discharges electricity. Getting close to it will make your hair stand on end. Alright. So yeah, there was a hidden Berserk gene, an item that's so broken, so overpowered, that it never made a return in the mainline Pokemon games again. I don't even think it appeared in Heart Gold Soul Silver. So, for returning the machine part, we got TM07 Zap Cannon. And we can now go down to the Lavender Town radio tower to collect the EXPN card. So we could actually play a tune that will allow us to wake up the Snorlax guarding the entrance to Diglett's Cave. So this is kind of annoying. So what am I doing? Well, while we're in the radio tower, I decided to deposit 2 Pokemon and withdraw 2 others, specifically Chansey and Glue. For now, I don't need Typhlosion for Alligator because I don't need a dig and I don't need a surf. I cock Electabuzz because I am so great. Yep. Electricity runs across the surface of its body. In darkness, its entire body glows a whitish blue. Furthermore, I can get this quest line in Silver going, where I need to find and retrieve Copycat's missing Pokédoll, but I have to speak to her, or else the guy at the fan club won't give it to you. So there's TM07 Zap Cannon. And before I go pick up the missing Pokédoll, I'm gonna cut through to Route 14 to initiate a trade, my second Chansey for an Aerodactyl. I already evolved one of my duplicate Chanseys into Blissey, and I have another Chansey for Living Dex purposes, so... And Gold is basically gonna follow its Silver's tail here. So yeah, something worth knowing is that yes, I did make the conscious to off-screen dupe the Gloom for the sake of trading, but now I got both my trade Pokemon out and about. So yeah, I'm trading Chansey for Aerodactyl, which apart from trading with Red, Blue, and Yellow with Gen 1 games, is the only way to get Aerodactyl into your Gen 2 lineup. And I say that since it requires a 1% Chansey to initiate the trade. Thank God for the duplication glitch. Though even if I forbade the use of glitches, I'm playing on emulator, could just use Sweet Stint to find another Chansey if I need to. So now I'm talking to this guy, so he can... And now that I talk to Copycat, he'll allow us to take the lost item key item off his back. But before we return it to Copycat, we're going up to Diglett's Cave by waking up the Snorlax. Tune into the second to last channel and it will play the Pokeflute theme. You talk to Chansey and Snorlax will wake up. All the while, Gold is training his Chansey for an Aerodactyl. And Silver here is gonna catch Snorlax with a Master Ball. Yep. I told you the two paths won't be overlapping. Its stomach digestive juices can dissolve any kind of poison. It can even eat things off the ground. That was a weirdly worded statement. Digestive. So now we're going through Diglett's Cave and we're going to try to catch both Diglett and Dugtrio. Random encounter, which means I'm going to catch whatever comes up. Too bad it wasn't a Dugtrio. But you know what? I need to catch Diglett for Pokédex for Living Dex purposes. Might as well do it now. Oh yeah, Gold decided to do the rail pass thing now. And I don't think oh no, I'm starting that. If a Diglett digs through a field, it leaves the soil perfectly tilled and ideal for planting crops. So no, I was actually initiating the lost item quest line in Gold right now, and the reason for this is so I could obtain a rail pass so I could go back and forth between Kanto and Johto lickety-split. So this was yet another Diglett, which sucks. But now I'm gonna go Sweet Scent, and I like the timing of this, since Gold's not quite ready to battle Snorlax. But I am tuning into the Pokeflute, and Silver is about to throw yet another Master Ball at the Dugtrio. Yippee, hooray, Happy New Year. 1, 2, 3. I caught Dugtrio, 'cause I am so great! And now for Gold's turn. Extremely powerful, they can dig through even the hardest ground to a depth of over 60 miles. Gotcha! And now we get to read Snorlax's Pokédex entry. What sounds like its cry may actually be its snores or the rumblings of its hungry belly. Boom. Going up here to try to pick up whatever items I can. And now while Silver's collecting treasure on the east side of Route 2, all the items on the east side of Route 2, Gold's gonna cut through Diglett's Cave and try to capture Diglett and Dugtrio himself. That's just Professor Oak's aid. He doesn't say anything unique, nor does he give you any prizes. I caught Diglett, 'cause I am so great! Its skin is very thin. If it is exposed to light, its blood heats up, causing it to grow weak. Alright, and now Silver's got battle this bug catcher and make his way to Pewter City. Might as well do this now while it's still dark out, and it's still Monday night. Can't exactly do this shit when it's Monday morning or Monday day, because there is a event that can only happen on Monday nights, which is 12 midnight to 3:59 a.m. or 6 p.m. to 11:59 p.m. Its three heads bob separately up and down to loosen the soil nearby, making it easier for it to burrow. And sadly, this will be the last new capture for quite a while. Well, last new Pokédex entry for quite a while. Silver is almost done battling this bug catcher. Very easy stuff. So, talk to this guy for a free nugget, and I'm going to stop by the Pokemon Center to heal and to conduct the second trade of the day, as well as the final trade of Gold and Silver. If you're playing Crystal version, there's technically one other trade at the power plant. However, that trade is not available in Gold and Silver. It was added into Crystal. In Crystal, it was Dugtrio for... They give you a Magneton in exchange for Dugtrio. Here, it's Gloom for Rapidash. And in Crystal, this trade would be Haunter for Zatsu. Which is okay, fine. So, yep. That is it. Silver is going to get Rapidash, while Gold is going to go battle this bug catcher to make his way into Pewter City. And yep, that's another Pokemon added to our total. So I'm gonna move without meal. So I'm gonna move Arroy to near between Kabutops and Articuno on 141 and 160. And here, Runny will be between Ponyta and Slowpoke on 61 and 80. And Dugtrio right here between Venomoth and Meowth. And then Diglett will be moved right on top of Dugtrio. Now, I should move Electabuzz and Snorlax between Arroy and Articuno. And I probably should move Electabuzz as well, but I'm not going to because I'm going to use this opportunity to try to breed Electabuzz. And while I'm at, Silver version's also gonna move Magmar and Jinx into the reserves box. And leave Electabuzz right there. Jigglypuff, well, one of my 2 Jigglypuffs will be moved right there. Again, get them involved with breeding. And there's 2 more Pokemon that need to be bred. But I don't have those Pokemon yet. And we talked to this guy so he could give us a Silver Wing. Though in hindsight, I should stop by at the Pokemart to sell some of my excess junk. But that completely slipped my mind. Meanwhile, while Silver's doing all this boring ass shit, Gold just got Rapidash in exchange for one of his Glooms. So, I will probably read Rapidash and Aerodactyl's Pokedex entries some other time. Now, Gold just decides to go straight to dropping off the Pokemon to the box, and I wasn't really paying a whole lot of thought to what I was doing. The thought of trying to move the Pokemon, keeping Electabuzz there, and then moving Jinx, Magmar, and Jigglypuff into the reserve box didn't come until I played Silver version, and as I usually say, I play Gold first and then Silver. So, even though you have the 2 games side by side, the reason why Gold more often than not finishes last is because I play Gold first, and I better optimize my movements in Silver version. At least for the most part. I can only think of 1 or 2 instances where Silver went on a little longer than Gold. But it was the same with Red and Blue. Or generally speaking, I would play Red first and then Blue afterwards. But here, I actually make the conscientious effort in Gold to drop off the items that I need dropped off in the PC. Anyways, here's Aerodactyl, a vicious Pokemon from the distant past. It appears to have flown by spraying its wings and gliding. And now for Rapidash. All the while, at full gallop, its 4 hooves barely touch the ground because it moves so incredibly fast. And all the while, Mewtwo is just tearing through the trainers of Route 3 en route to Mount Moon, while it is still Monday night. Again, while it's still Monday night. And Gold actually takes this time to sell some of his excess garbage. Something that Gold hasn't done yet. Alright. So this will be Silver's last trainer, Route 3. Meanwhile, Gold is gonna cut through Route... actually, first talk to this old man. In Pokemon Gold, he'll give you in Crystal, he'll give you a Silver Wing. But Pokemon Silver, he'll give you a Rainbow Wing. Congratulations! Now both games can now fully explore World Islands and Tin Tower. So, do fully expect to see me tackle those 2 dungeons in the next episode. Because today we're gonna try to wrap up all the loose ends in Kanto, battle all the remaining trainers, and capture all the remaining Pokemon. And meanwhile, we are entering Mount Moon and we're battling Rival 6. And his Magneton's one of the few Pokemon, is actually the second Pokemon that we ran into who can actually tank our attacks. Because, especially since he resists all 4 of Mewtwo's attacks. And Steel type is probably the ultimate defensive type. All the way up until, I think, Gen 6, and even then he's still pretty good. So yeah, I'm basically playing in accordance to type advantage, as well as what moves are likely to deal the most damage with little effort. But Magneton, because it's Steel Electric type, I have to use Psychic for stab bonus, for the purpose of stab. Because Magneton resists all of Mewtwo's attacks, but Psychic gets stab, and his special stat is way higher than his physical. So there. For Breather Oath, Snap Magmar. Go Mewtwo. Critical hit. And... Alright. Or just gonna hit Shadow Balls, and I'm basically hitting for type advantages to ensure that all of Silver's Pokemon faint. And Silver 6 is by far the strongest trainer that we have fought since defeating Lance. And he's still a pushover because of because I'm like 40 levels higher than all of his Pokemon. Athena Dominant has beaten 50 levels, and that was a misstep in Gold. And of course I get a random encounter because my luck is that bad. Needed to wait a little while to manip a Clefairy encounter, but not too long, thankfully. Sorry, I farted. So now, I'm gonna go ahead and catch this Clefairy, and his goal is about ready to battle Rival 6. Its adorable behavior and cry make it highly popular. However, this cute Pokemon is rarely found. And a bit of trivia, Clefairy has about 5% chance of holding a Moonstone. So if I don't get a Moonstone off of a wild Clefairy encounter, I could just dupe one of my 3 Moonstones when the time comes to dupe Clefairy. And because it's Monday night, I can trigger this event that spawns this breakable Rock Smash Rock. I break the rock and examine the spot. There's a Moonstone. Meanwhile, Gold is battling Rival 6. Thunder Punch deals the most damage because it's the only move that Sneasel's not resisted. Doesn't resist. And he's also flat out immune to Psychic. I'm gonna keep the cursor on Thunder Punch against Golbat because... Oh wait, never mind. I moved to Shadow Ball so I could skip these super effective attacks. Unfortunately, Shadow Ball does not deal more... cannot one-shot Magneton outside of a crit or maybe a high damage roll. Anyways, with Mount Moon cleared out 100%, I can now take on all the trainers and items in Route 4. No new captures in this route. Actually, there are only 2 more Pokemon left for us to catch in this episode. So yeah, the end of the episode is gonna be pretty boring. No way around that. So yeah, a level 12 Pidgey, are you serious? And then he goes from a level 12 Pidgey to a level 30 something Pidgeot. Level 34 Pidgeot. He doesn't even have a Pidgeotto, which is pathetic. Also, Pidgeot's underleveled. And there really is no reason for it because he is way his levels is way lower than than Rival 6. It's way lower than all the gym leaders, and it's way lower than the Elite Four and Champion. Again, I do think... Well, okay, I can sort of understand the narrative purposes of making all the typical trainers. Maybe not substantially weaker than the Elite Four champion, but noticeably weaker than the Elite Four champion. And noticeably weaker than Rivals 5, 6, and 7. And noticeably weaker than the Kanto Gym leaders. The purpose of this is it's basically showing that these trainers are on their own little journeys and stuff like that. Anyways, I Gold Manipta Clefairy, and now we caught Clefairy. A male one. The moonlight that it stores in the wings on its back apparently gives it the ability to float in midair. Alright. And now that Silver's done with routes 3, 4 in Mount Moon, we're heading down to Route 2, and this was where Viridian Forest would have been. But not anymore, sadly. And this is when I realized that I forgot to sell and deposit a ton of my junk. Anyways, hidden moonstone right there at Mount Moon. And by the way, that building contains a shop, but I don't think there's anything of note to buy in that shop. So now, Silver has to go back to Peter, sell some of his junk, and probably deposit the rest. So this is probably the biggest time waster of the episode. It's not even close. And even then, Silver's still so far ahead of Gold that's ridiculous. Now I get to pick up the hidden Max Ether here, while Gold picks up the hidden Ultra Ball. There used to be a Great Ball there. And of course the hidden Revive here. Probably will have to sell that as well. But not right now. And definitely this item, which is a dire hit. Don't need that. And full restore. And there's a trainer right there, but that's fine, because not only will allow me to battle this trainer quickly, but gives me a chance to possibly run into a wild Pikachu without Sweet Scent, if I'm lucky. Unfortunately, Pikachu is a 5% counter rate, and unlike in Pokemon Crystal, Pikachu can be caught at any time of the day, including the middle of the night. Though, to be fair, I didn't have to worry about capturing Pikachu or Clefairy in Crystal version, because I already got them off the odd eggs that I duped. Okay, I didn't get the encounter there, so I decided to go Sweet Scent. And just like that, I have myself a male Pikachu. Can't believe it took this long before we finally got the face of the franchise added to our Dex total in Generation 2. For some reason, Pikachu was not available anywhere else until this point in the game, so... It raises its tail to check its surroundings. The tail is sometimes struck by lightning in this pose. That's interesting. Anyways, Gold's about to wrap up Route 4. And Silver's about to wrap up Route 2. With this item in our collection, we can now head back to... Well, I could just teleport to Peter City because we used the Pokemon Center there. I mean, we had to because that was where the Rapidash trade was located. And because I made room in my PC in Gold version, Gold will have no trouble picking up all the items along this route. Apparently, Viridian Forest, the Safari Zone, Cinnabar Mansion, or I guess Cinnabar Cave, Cerulean Cave, and Seafoam Islands as a dungeon all had to be cut from this game due to lack of space in Gold and Silver. The idea was to add enough space in gold and silver so that they could fit 2 regions in a single cartridge, while at the same time allowing players to play these games on a normal Game Boy or a Game Boy Pocket. Crystal does not have that functionality because Crystal added even more content, including a DLC functionality with a cell phone adapter, making up to a cell phone to unlock some DLC. And that data, as well as other stuff like the Battle Tower, pretty much made it impossible for Crystal to play on an actual Game Boy or Game Boy Pocket, making Crystal version the one and only truly Game Boy Color exclusive Pokemon title. At least you can play these games on Game Boy Advance and Game Boy Advance SP still, but not DS or 3DS, unfortunately. This intelligent Pokemon roasts hard berries with electricity to make them tender enough to eat. So, after picking up TM42 Dream Eater from the guy behind the bush, and making a quick pit stop at the Viridian City Pokemon Center, we are now heading south to Route 1 and are going to try to cut through to Pallet Town. And unlike in Gen 1, there are 2 trainers on Route 1. And honestly, hearing the Route 1 music at Mount Moon and then in Route 1 is kind of haunting, because not only are we going back to where it all started so late in the game, but it definitely gives you the sense that you're nearing the end of this story. And though I still have quite a number of episodes to go before our until this perfect playthrough is finally completed, it kind of gives you this sinking feeling that we are very near the end of the line for this perfect playthrough. That there isn't a whole lot left for us to do. A whole lot else to see. Not a whole lot else to see. And really, the only reason why we're not quite there being done is because, as of recording this, it is August 6, 2024, in real time. I still have until Labor Day to complete my to finish this playthrough. And if I don't, then I will either put the perfect playthrough on hold until I can find a more convenient time to cover this title, these games, and finish what I started, or if I had completed sufficient enough of this game, I would just end the run. So, there's nothing for us to do quite yet in Pallet Town. So really, I'm just gonna go in here, use Sweet Scent to trigger, to manipulate an encounter with Mr. Mime here. Wait, Mr. Mime can be female? Well, okay, I'll explain the reasoning for this. Mr. Mime was the US, the Western release's name for this Pokemon. In Japan, he's called something else, which doesn't really suggest gender. Its fingertips emit a peculiar force field that hardens air to create an actual wall. So it's really just a technicality that Mr. Mime can be female in spite the name. By the way, because Mr. Mime is the very last encounter that we needed to catch, we no longer need to worry about random encounters, so I'm going to go ahead and use Max Repel here. Gold still has one more Pokemon to catch, but Silver's done. Really, the hard part from here on out is me trying to go through routes 21 through 19, cut through Cinnabar Island, pick up the hidden rare candy, and speak to Blue, so that Blue will reopen his gym. And Culture Quinn was defeated. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and run away from this encounter because we don't need to run into it. So, Silver is not that far ahead compared to Gold, but he is noticeably far ahead. Anyways, Gold's gotta go Sweet Scent while Mewtwo continues battling these trainers. I think the biggest difference between Gold and Silver is that Silver is mostly content with just using Shadow Ball. None of these Pokemon have high enough defenses or enough HP to tank a Shadow Ball. Not even Cloyster, as it turns out. Alright, we caught Mr. Mime. A skilled Mime from birth, it gains the ability to create invisible objects as it matures. Alright, that was the final Pokemon of the capture of the day, so now the rest of this episode it'll be battling trainers along routes 21 through 19. And I'm going to use Max Repel to ensure I don't run into any random battles. Because there's a lot of Tentacool and Tentacruel on these routes. And it's really annoying having a battle these when you don't want these episodes to go on for so long. And really the reason why, even though it's Gold and Silver and these episodes should be way shorter, the reason why they go on for a really long time is literally because there's not a lot of story left to cover. It's really just gameplay, and it's mostly battling. When I use save states, it's usually to do two things. Number one, it is to help with Sweet Scent Manips, among other things. And number two, is to make sure Gold and Silver are properly paced so that neither game have Pokedex entries that overlap one another. It's also the reason why one game typically saves the Pokedex entries till the end of the episode while the other doesn't. So I'm gonna speak to Blue here, and doing so will cause him to return to the Viridian City Gym because he sees us as a worthy challenger. And of course there's a hidden rare candy for us to pick up. I believe this is the last hidden item of the entire game of the episode. We've still got hidden items and routes in Whirl Island's Tin Tower and the endgame locations. Furthermore, there's also an EXP share that I never got in Gold and Silver. Or did I? No, I don't think I ever got the EXP share. So I'm healing at the Pokemon Center. I do this mainly so to give Gold at least a chance to catch up. But I don't think Gold stands a chance at catching up. Even taking into account the fact that I'll be reading Pokedex entries at the end of the episode, because Silver just optimized certain things a little better. Even though I waste a bit of time here and there, Silver just was way ahead of Gold. I mean, that's just the way, that's just how things roll in these sorts of perfect playthroughs. Alright, and now... And even though... And while Seafoam Islands are still around, it's now home to the Cinnabar Island Gym, since the whole rest of the island, apart from the Pokemon Center, got destroyed by a volcanic eruption. So Gold decided to do the rare candy first and then talk to Blue. So yeah. Furthermore, by battling all the trainers of routes 21, 20, and 19, I will clear out the Rebel of Route 19 so that you can reach the Cinnabar Gym from Fuchsia City just fine. But yeah, as a compromise in order to fit as much of the Kanto region as possible, locations like the while still making these games backwards compatible, playable on original Game Boy hardware, they basically had to cut out locations like the Viridian Forest, Cerulean Cave, Seafoam Islands, and the Safari Zone as revisitable locations, as well as Seafoam Island Dungeon. This led to and Cinnabar Cave too, as that was, I think those locations, as well as the power plant, a power plant dungeon, would have been the original means of making Arcudo, Zapdos, and Moltres obtainable in Gold and Silver, but they had to be removed. Just to make room for these Pokemon. And honestly, apart from the cut locations that would have given us the legendary birds and Mewtwo, and possibly even Omanyte and or Kabuto, I don't know how much you really needed these. Heck, I would not be surprised if they originally planned for you to get the Kanto stars off of Professor Oak, and that too got scrapped for whatever reason. Probably when Game Freak decided to just have backwards compatibility be the main selling point to make it so you have to trade with Gen 1 to get all these Pokemon. Especially with all these cut locations that actually mandated the backwards compatibility with Gen 1. Backwards compatibility trading. So yeah. Mixed with all that, and then you sort of realize that there really aren't any unique Pokemon that you miss out on, that you could not get in any other way outside of the starters, birds, and fossil Pokemon. The starters, fossils, and legends. Legendary Pokemon that you could get through backwards compatibility trading. Now, if I were to do a perfect playthrough of these games on actual hardware, there would be no duplication in Red, Blue, and Yellow. That would be way too difficult. Maybe Yellow, actually, but there would be no duplication glitch in Red or Blue. It'd be nearly impossible to pull off. So yeah, there's really not a whole lot to say. This is literally the last trainer that Silver has to battle on Route 19. And then I just have to do the last bit of wrap-ups. Wrap up the last, well, not necessarily the last bit of loose ends. Again, we never tackled routes 24, 25, which have trainers on them. We are not because we're not ready to complete the quest line that allows us to nab all the evolution stones. We're not ready for that yet. Because we don't have a Pichu, and we need to breed a Pikachu to get a Pichu. Have all the other necessary components, but not Pichu. This quest line would be impossible to complete. Alright, and... Snortucker was defeated. I'm drowning! Swimmer Dawn. And I accidentally flew down to Vermilion City when I meant to fly down to Saffron City because I got geographically confused for some reason. There's nothing for us to do at Vermilion quite yet because, again, I want to save all the gym battles for a single episode of Gold and Silver. Same with Crystal version, now that I think about it. Alright, Max Repel is worn off, and... Wow, Silver's 2 battles ahead of Gold. We talked to Copycat, and because we completed the Lost Item side quest, she'll give us a pass so we can board the Magnet Train and make it to Goldenrod City instantaneously. Now we can freely travel back and forth between Kanto and Johto in less than a minute. In less than a minute's time. Which is actually kind of like how the Magnet Train in Japan works. Apparently the train moves super duper fast. I would like to go to Japan someday. Maybe when I'm rich. The way Silver's about to wrap up his run, while Gold still needs to complete a few things first. I'm gonna deposit all my Pokemon except for Mewtwo. And I'm going to go ahead and withdraw Jinx, Electabuzz, and Magmar. And the reason for this is because these 3 Pokemon will take the longest out of all the Pokemon to get them ready to hatch. So, last thing I'm going to do is move my Pokemon around a bit, which will allow for an autosave. Specifically, move Mr. Mime to the top of 121 to 140. And move Ditto into my party, which I forgot to do last time. And now that Silver's done, all I have to do now is read some Pokedex entries, specifically the 5 new ones I got via trades and evolutions. With incredible acceleration, it reaches its top speed of 150 miles per hour after running just 10 steps. Jesus fucking Christ. This vicious Pokemon is said to have flown in ancient skies while shrieking high-pitched cries. And... its brittle shell occasionally spouts intense flames that circulate throughout its body. And finally... wait, no. Upon hearing its eerie howls, other Pokemon get the shivers and head straight back to their nests. Okay, now it's finally. It has a very compassionate nature. If it sees a sick Pokemon, it will nurse the sufferer back to health. And that's it for Pokemon Silver. I will slowly fade out in case I'm back, in case I need to. And meanwhile, Mewtwo's gonna make some arrangements in this PC and party overall to get Jinx, Electabuzz, Magmar, Ditto, my party, and Pikachu, Clefairy and Jigglypuff in the PC. Next time we're gonna go hatching some eggs. We'll take on the Whirl Islands, and of course there's also the Tin Tower that we need to complete. So yeah, that's basically it. Oh yeah, I think there's also a TM at Burn Tower. And I think the only worthwhile tasks outside from these three things is to max out our coin case and get all the TMs and a particular Pokemon out of all that. So that will be the objective for next time, my perfect playthrough of Pokemon's Gold and Silver. Leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. I greatly appreciate it. With all out of the way, this is Mike Gorn signing out.